Hello and welcome to my junk room. This is Jacob's junk room. I am Jacob, and this is the room where I keep all of my junk. You can't really see it from this camera angle, but this room is quite frankly disgusting. There's just junk everywhere from various thrift stores, flea markets, yard sales. There's no telling where I've gotten this stuff from. Some of it's people have just given to me because they don't feel like fooling with it or taking it to the Goodwill, so they give it to me to go through first, and then I'll donate it to the Goodwill. But I digress. Yeah, this is a new channel, not really a new channel, a new show that I'm trying to kind of do on my YouTube page. If you know me, you may know me for being local to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I am a comedian on the Gulf Coast here. I'm a podcaster, a comedy podcaster. And what I've been doing for the last 3 or so months is I've been selling on eBay and Facebook Marketplace, basically reselling stuff that I find at thrift stores, yard sales, flea markets, that kind of thing, as a little bit of a side hustle. Because even though I have side hustles in comedy and podcasting, I'm a teacher during the day, so that doesn't pay the bills. So I've started reselling in the last 3 or so months. In the last 3 months that I've started doing this, I've had about $1,000 in sales, which helps a lot. Don't get me wrong, helps a lot to put extra money in my pocket. Helps a lot for me to be able to feed my family, and I think it's a win-win for everybody. I buy this stuff that's might end up in a landfill or might just sit on a shelf forever, and then I find a place for it to go where people will actually enjoy it and cherish it. And I sell a little bit of everything too. The main stuff that I look for to sell, it's stuff that I thoroughly enjoy. Stuff like old vintage toys, DVDs, VHSs, books, designer clothing, designer women's clothing, purses, shoes. That's the kind of stuff that I mainly have. But if you go to my eBay store, which will always be linked down below this YouTube video, you can check out my eBay store. You'll find that I have a little bit of everything for sale. And if you want to buy something from the eBay store, that'll help me immensely in my goal, which I will tell you about right now. So you may have heard before that in the last 3 months, I've made about $1,000. Well, my goal this summer, today is June 3rd, my goal is from June 1st to the end of June, I want to make $1,000 in 1 month. That is my current goal. That's currently what I'm trying to do right now. And good news for that goal is sitting in my junk room or in my garage, I have $1,000 worth of things for people to buy. I just have to try to get it sold, and I have to try to get more stuff into this junk room for people to buy so that I can make $1,000 in 1 month. And I'm going to try to put out one video a week chronicling this journey so that you can see my eBay and Facebook Marketplace sales. I believe I have had one sale this month already. I'll throw that screenshot up on the screen now if I can figure out how to do it. That's a little secret with this whole thing, is that I don't really know how to resell stuff, and I don't really know how to make YouTube videos. So you guys are going to come with me, and we're going to figure it out together. And we're going to grow together on this journey in my junk room. Pause. Yeah, I believe I sold a DVD, a sealed DVD, for about $15. I took an offer on that. I bought it sealed at the Goodwill, I believe, for about $3. So not great profit margins on that, but that $15 will kick off our total going towards the $1,000 selling cap that I hope that I reach in this 1 month. But what I wanted to do today is I wanted to show you guys around the junk room a little bit. Let you get to know the place, and then I'm going to show you some of my most expensive things that I'm trying to sell on eBay right now, where if people buy this stuff, I will get to my $1,000 goal really quickly. And then I'm going to show off some of the new stuff that I've brought in from the Goodwill bins and the $1 tag sale day at Goodwill. Yeah, so I have a bunch of stuff sitting around. Let's show you guys what I've got going on. So as you can see, I've got some collectibles and personal items on the shelf here. I do actually have this John Constantine pop vinyl back here listed on eBay. It's worth about 70 bucks. It's a really nice exclusive pop vinyl, but of course pop vinyls since the pandemic have not really sold well at all on any platform, but hopefully someone will buy that for what it's worth one day. I also have the Scott Pilgrim pop vinyl listed as well. I have it listed for about $22, which is about what it's worth loose. If it was in the box, it'd be worth a lot more. Down here, I've got my CRT TV that I picked up for 20 bucks at a thrift store. I'm not going to try to resell this because I personally use it for retro gaming. As you can see, we go down here. Mind the jumbled wires and everything. I have to do better with my wire management. Down here you see the fat PS2 that I've bought off of Facebook Marketplace for about 40 bucks, and the VCR I found at Goodwill for $10. This is all stuff that I have for personal use. We got the Xbox 360 hooked up over here. This is just my little podcasting corner and gaming corner in the junk room. Figured I would show you guys the cool stuff I got going on over here. Alright, so what I'm going to show you guys first is 3 particular antique books that I actually got for free. They came from a school library. They were going to just either throw them out or donate them to the Goodwill. I took them, went through them, kept the ones I wanted to keep, and the rest of them I did donate to the Goodwill. But the fact that these books almost ended up in a landfill somewhere is really mind-boggling to me. Because if I sold these 3 books, I would get to $650 into my goal just from these 3 books. Because these books are, sorry you're seeing that backwards here, folks, but this is the Magic Flute. And you may remember this from elementary school, probably. You probably played some of this on the recorder or watched this at some point. Well, this is the original book, the original Magic Flute, the very first one, the very first edition Magic Flute. As you can see from right here, in a lot of these older books, what this is, this little tag right here, that is what number book this is. So only a few first edition copies were made back in the 1960s. They just kind of put that tag on there. I believe that's what it is from. It could be from the library as well, but in my research, that's what I found. I believe that's what number book this is. And I do know for a fact that this is a first edition because you can see, you might not be able to see it because, like I said, everything is backwards, but that says 1962 on it. And the second edition of this book came out in 1964. The copyright information looks completely different. And right now on eBay, the only ones that are of these that are listed by publishing companies that have this. So to my knowledge, at least trying to resell it, I am the only one who has a copy of the Magic Flute first edition listed on eBay that's not an entity or a company, a publishing company. I've seen these listed anywhere from $500 to as low as $100. I've listed mine right in the middle for $250. Obviously, if someone sends me a lower offer than that, I will 1000% take it. Because like I said, I got this for free. So if I make even $100 on it, I will be very happy because that's $100 profit. All right, next up is a very interesting book. This was actually the first book I pulled out and looked at from this lot. This book is not listed or sold anywhere on eBay, and the only copy of this I have found for sale anywhere on the internet is on Amazon for $195. It is a first edition copy of Rocket Pioneer by Charles Coombs. So if you don't know who that is, there are a bunch of books written about him because he is a pioneer in rocket science. This is a book that he wrote about himself, first edition, I believe from 1965. So first edition from 1965. The one that's listed on Amazon is in acceptable condition for 195. I think mine's probably in a little better than acceptable condition, but I did list it as acceptable just to kind of cover all my bases in case someone buys this and says, hey, you said the condition was better than it was. So I do have this listed on eBay. I believe I have this listed for $190, something like that. And once again, if someone sends me a lower offer for this book as well, for really, whatever, $100, whatever it is, obviously I'll happily take it because that's $100 in my pocket, and this gets its forever home. Everybody wins. Now, this next book is actually pretty interesting. There are a lot of copies of this listed on eBay and not a lot sold, so I don't think I will be able to sell this, at least not right away, especially because mine's not in the best condition. But you may remember the story of the Velveteen Rabbit. I do believe that this is a first edition copy. Like I said, these books have all been just sitting on a shelf. Yeah, there's a first edition copy from 1975. These books have all just been sitting on shelves since this year in this school. I mean, since the 60s and 70s, they've just been sitting around. But I might not be able to sell this because, as you might be able to tell on the pages there is quite a little bit of water damage along the spine all throughout the book. I've seen copies of this listed for up to $100. I probably won't be able to list mine as high as that. I'll probably list mine for $50. And like I said, if someone sends me a lower offer, I'll never say no to a reasonable offer. With the water damage, I doubt I'll even be able to get $50 out of it. But if someone wants this in their home for as little as $25, something like that, I'll gladly let it go. But it's a shame that it's not, I'm not getting its full potential out of it with the water damage on it. So that's all of our vintage books, at least the most expensive ones that I'm trying to sell. Like I said, if all three of those books sell, I'll be in very good standings for getting to my $1,000 goal. Now, here is something that I do think will absolutely sell at some point this month. So this is a Blu-ray collector's copy of The World at War, which is a very popular World War II documentary. And with Father's Day coming up, I know there's probably a lot of dads and grandfathers out there that would love to have this in their homes. This is very hard to find and sought after, actually. There's currently 7 listed on eBay and 27 sold. Some of them have sold for as high as $120. So I listed mine for $100. I'm probably not going to take a lower offer on this if someone sends it to me. I'm probably going to hold out and try to get that full 100 out of this, just because there's only so many that are on eBay, and I know if I wait it out, I will be able to sell it. So now I want to go over some of the stuff that I found on my recent Goodwill trips with y'all. Unlike a lot of other resellers, I don't have a rig that I can put on my chest with a GoPro or anything like that. I may start filming in Goodwills a little bit here and there, just if I'm with somebody. That way I have some extra hands to kind of pick stuff up so I can film it or whatever. But I actually picked up this vintage Cabbage Patch doll here. As you may be able to tell from the face, there's a lot of discoloration on it. You can't really tell on the video here, but it looks almost like crayon or something like that on the face. I think I will be able to get all of that off. Hopefully I will be able to. And if I am able to get all of that off, a vintage Cabbage Patch doll like this one is easily worth about $40. Unlike Beanie Babies, Cabbage Patch dolls are extremely collectible. So if you see a Cabbage Patch doll out there in the wild, it's probably worth picking up, especially if it's from the 70s or 80s like this one is. So yeah, I'm going to see if I can try to get it cleaned up a little bit. list it for $40. I still have the Goodwill tag on it. I paid $3.99 for it, so if I can't get the full 40 out of it, I will take a lower offer, but I'm trying to get as much profit as I can out of this lot. Next up, I have something that you might recognize if you're a child of the 90s or 2000s like myself. I found a DVD and VHS combo. Unlike the one that I have for personal use, which is a JVC, this is a Magnavox. So the Magnavox VHS DVD combos are actually pretty sought after. They have a very high resale value if you're able to pick one up. I would advise anyone who's trying to make a little extra money to always pick up VHS DVD combos at the Goodwills or wherever you can find them. And they usually have some cheap AV cables laying around as well. I bought a set of AV cables for $1.99 that I just found on a shelf. I bought this for $10, and I'll be able to sell the AV cables with the VHS DVD combo for about $125 plus shipping, which is a fantastic return on investment on that. And with, obviously no one's making VHSs anymore. So if there's someone out there that wants a VHS player, this is pretty much where they're going to have to get it. I'm not going to take a lower offer on this. I'm going to try to get at least 100 out of it, and that'll get us very close to our goal. I would not be surprised if this sells within a couple of days. I actually haven't listed it yet. And of course, if you're local and watching this or whatever and you want to buy any of the stuff from my videos, feel free to hit me up. Let me know. We can work something out Facebook Marketplace style, especially because I don't want to have to put this in a freaking box. This thing is hefty. Yeah, that's going to suck. So off camera here I have the bag of stuff that I got from the Goodwill bins. If you don't know about the Goodwill bins, you buy everything there based on weight. So I actually only found 4.5 pounds worth of stuff there, and I paid $8 for this entire bag. But here in real time, I'm going to pull it all out for you. I'm not really seeing what all I'm pulling out as I'm doing it. Let's see what this is. Okay, so this is a Girls 6X Bebe jean jacket. If you don't know about Bebe as a brand, that's the brand that all of the girls in high school or all of the younger girls these days are wearing around as Bebe purses, Bebe brand clothing. So I'm hoping that even though this is a toddler size or a young girl size, that it will sell because of the brand. But obviously younger clothing doesn't usually sell well because kids grow out of stuff really fast. And if I can't sell it, I actually think my daughter is a size 6X, so I'll probably give it to her to put on. What else we got in here? I actually found a North Face jacket at the Goodwill bins, and right before my hand touched it, someone scooped it up before I did. But I did find this pair of North Face leggings, joggers, sweatpants, whatever you want to call them. If you don't know, obviously North Face is a defunct company now, not making clothing anymore. Extremely sought after. The pants, not so much. They don't sell as well as the jackets or for as much, but I think I'll be able to get at least $15 out of these. I haven't looked up any sold comps or anything on this stuff that I'm pulling out now. This is literally the first time I'm pulling it out of the bag. I found a sealed cassette. I actually have never tried to sell cassettes before, and I don't think they sell very well. I did try looking up this one. I bought it just because it was sealed. There are no sold comps for this specific cassette, at least not out of lots. This is sold in lots for $30 with other cassette tapes. I might list this for about $10 and just see if it sells. Unfortunately, I found a sealed VHS as well. And I have sold religious items in the past out of a storage unit that I had. I sold a set of rosary beads, I sold a Bible, I sold a Ten Commandments plaque. So religious items usually sell pretty well for me. Unfortunately, after the Goodwill bins, the next day I went to the America's Thrift Store and I found 3 copies of this sealed on the shelves of the America's Thrift. Looked it up, none sold on eBay, practically worthless. This will probably end up in a landfill somewhere, honestly, simply because I'm doing Goodwill a favor by skipping the middleman and not making them throw it away. So we have that. I actually have one of these. I have the orange vintage M&M plush. I was able to find the green vintage M&M plush at the Goodwill bins, and you can tell it's vintage because of the eyes right here. So before 2003 maybe, plush were able to have these hard eyes. So if you see these hard eyes like this, chances are it's a vintage plush. And obviously choking hazards, that kind of thing, companies were forced to stop putting the hard eyes on plush like this. This is a pretty cool piece. It's not in the best condition. Like, there's some loose string right here. I'm not sure what that's from. Probably from when it was hanging in the Goodwill. I'll probably cut those off. And it's very dingy. You see all of the schmutz on the glove right there. So I'm going to try to clean this up the best that I can. I have the orange M&M listed for about $25. It's been listed for a few months now, so I don't even know if this will really sell. I might actually relist this with the orange one and try to sell them together. But I think that they both have potential to sell. I love picking up vintage plush, that kind of thing. Let's see, I found a Polo Ralph Lauren overshirt, whatever you want to call it, polo, button-up shirt. Unfortunately, I have not looked this up yet, and I do think it might be fake because there is color on the logo there. I've just never seen Polo Ralph Lauren's with the color on it like that. So there's a good chance that this is fake. Although it is 100% cotton. And I do believe that polos are 100% cotton. So I have to do more research on that. But it is a polo. So it'll sell for a good amount if it is real. Last 2 things I got from the Goodwill bins here. I got this really cute Gryffindor jacket. It's a 2T. So very cute 2-year-old, probably boy or girls. I could see a boy or a girl wearing this. Very cute Gryffindor jacket. And I'm excited to look this up. I just have a gut feeling about this. This is a sealed CD. And a lot of resellers will tell you not to pick up CDs. I love selling CDs. I've had a very good return on investment selling CDs. You just have to know the right ones to buy. So this is a sealed version of Elton John's Something About the Way You Look Tonight and Candle in the Wind from 1997 in memoriam of Princess Diana. Obviously, if you just found this on the Goodwill shelf, I don't think it would be worth much. But the fact that it's sealed makes me think that it might be worth a little bit of money. Like I said, I haven't looked it up yet. It might be worth nothing, but I'm excited to find out. So I think I'm actually going to wrap up the video there, guys. I do have a lot more stuff in this room, but I don't want to prattle on this video too much, especially for the first one. But this is kind of what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to be coming on here, showing off cool stuff I've found at thrift stores. There's going to be a lot of vintage toys, like I've said, a lot of really cool stuff that you might find interesting if you like old toys, nerdy stuff, video games, old VHSs, that kind of thing. Anything vintage or antique. That's the kind of stuff that I deal in. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you do want to help me get to that $1,000 sales goal, if you ever see anything in my videos that you think looks cool, that you might want to try to buy, that eBay link is in the comments. Of course, if you're local, you can always hit me up in the comments as well. Let me know that you're interested in something and we'll get into contact. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching once again. If you're a comedy lover, go check out the Open Micers podcast. I host that every week with my co-host for a little bit of comedy. This is a little bit more serious side of myself, you know, just kind of being informative, looking at cool stuff, that kind of thing. I might crack a little jokey joke here or there. But yeah, go check out the Open Micers podcast. eBay link is in the description, and I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.